Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is bringing to us a giant Lovecraftian Gargantos who just happens to look just like Shuma Gorath, except it's not that character. He even seems to be, well, exactly like Shuma Gorath in every single conceivable way, even what we know from his story. So why exactly is this happening? Well, let's talk about potential rights issues in relation to Shuma and what might be going on here. So we have talked about character rights for quite a long time, and Marvel Studios owns most of their characters now, but there's still some weird areas out there. A few characters related to Namor, obviously because the Universal deal, same thing with Hulk, depending on how that was partitioned out. Quite obviously, there's a couple characters that were in Marvel Comics at one point that they can't use, such as Bug and Rom Space Knight. Again, we've known about those for a while. Shuma Gorath is an interesting one because we all figured they gotta own that character, and since they don't, I guess, or something weird is going on, why exactly did they substitute in Gargantos, but literally just do everything in relation to Shuma Gorath and, well, call him Gargantos? There's gotta be something up here. Which brings me to the idea that's been floating around for a while, and that's the copyright issues and rights issues with characters. Is it possible that Shuma is somehow stuck somewhere in some sort of limbo or something? Now, if you start digging around, you might be able to pick up a couple of things going on here. Specifically, this is tied to the Conan the Barbarian license. Now, you guys know I'm a giant Conan the Barbarian fan, and Marvel and Disney were actually trying to get their hands on Conan the Barbarian everything. I mean, like TV rights, movie, and everything. They ended up winning out the comics. But what's interesting about this is that Conan the Barbarian is partially owned by Funcom, who has the rights to Conan the Barbarian and has had the rights since 2001. They don't own the entire rights, but they own specific video game rights and licensing, and they actually fully acquired major assets related to the character that are all behind a bunch of legal walls. Now, you go back to Disney trying to make some plays and power moves to acquire Conan, this might actually make sense. They wanted to use Shuma Gorath, but too many barriers to break through and try to buy out things, and things that just are out of their hands, or maybe people are asking for too much money. So yeah, it could have just been left over as part of old contracts that were acquired in a indirect way. Now, of course, they can't just drop Shuma Gorath into the film, rename him, and call it a day, because Gargantos is a completely different character that is mainly an underwater character related to Namor. So, what exactly are they going to do here? My guess is that they could explain it as a variant, or Marvel Studios will just say, well, this is our version, there's no Shuma Gorath, but it's a stand-in, which honestly might work, but the logistics behind him looking identical could pose a bigger copyright issue, which I assume, if the time comes, or if they've already figured out how to pay that off, could be the clue here. AKA, they paid off for the appearance because they were able to reach an agreement with that studio, but the whole Shuma Gorath story goes a little deeper, so they said, well, screw it. We can't call him that, but we got the appearance, and that's what we need, which honestly would probably be all you need, because, let's be real, they would have changed him from the ground up anyway, because that's sort of what they do here.